What's going on here today? Mike of Via Trading. I'm here today with Ben and Cecile.
Hi.
Can you guys introduce yourselves to the camera, let them know how long you've been working with Via, and then we can just get right into it.
Sure. I'm Ben. I'm an oblivious coworker brought on to talk about wholesale liquidation merchandise. I've been with the company for about 5 years.
And I'm Cecile. I'm lucky to work with Ben and Mike for about 4 months now. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here and talk with you.
See, she says she's lucky because it's only been 4 months, so we'll find out in 4 years how lucky she really was. But okay, so Benji said he is oblivious because, unfortunately, he kind of is. They were both thrown into this, not knowing what we're doing. So we came up with this concept late last night, and then this morning I grabbed them and said, hey, put your Via shirts on. We've got to do a video. So what we're going to do is a segment, and hopefully we'll continue it. It's called Pallet Talk, and we're just going to talk about pallets, obviously. So today what we wanted to start with are with some of the main questions we get asked. So I've emailed myself, and let's see if our friends over here can answer that question. So one of the main questions we get asked on a regular basis is, what are some of our best sellers? And my response is always, we don't have a bestseller. So I can tell you we've got best-selling programs, meaning I can tell you what loads we sell the most of on a consistent basis. But in terms of what your best sellers are, the answer is going to be different for all different business channels. Whether you're a flea market seller, you're exporting, you're a wholesaler, you're selling online, it's all going to be different. Not one program or product is going to work for everyone. So if you guys can just elaborate and see how you answer that question, I'm sure it's going to help some of our viewers.
Yeah, whenever I get on the phone with someone who's considering buying merchandise from us, I always look to first understand their business. So, I mean, are they an online vendor? Are they a retailer? Are they a wholesaler? Are they in this country? Are they in that market? And so best-selling categories or products are going to depend on ultimately what they can sell fastest and for most profit. So things to consider are seasonality. Whether we're in summer, whether we're in winter. Maybe also the market and what demographic you're targeting, whether you're targeting people who want really high-end products or people who just want basic necessities. Yeah.
That's a good way to see, look at it. Personally, I had that question a lot as well. And what I try to understand from our customers, as you said, like what market you are working with, and let's say you're a mom trying to make money on the side, selling cosmetics, or like it really matters to me, like to understand if you do only like online business, then you need smaller items that you can ship and are not too heavy. But if you do local marketplaces and you can sell in person, and it's a different game, and you can go for like heavier or bulkier items. And then it's also what you're comfortable working with. Like retailers need like big volume. Like if you're doing yard sale, it's going to be a different story. So it all goes back to what the customer business model is, because that's when the difference is like going to be made. Like if you need big items, small items, if you need high end, if you need like how do you say that? Like everyday items. And yeah, if you're doing wholesale, it's going to be totally different too. So. Yeah. It's all about you guys. We need info from you to tell you what's going to be your bestseller.
So as an account manager, what we do, we look to first understand what it is that the person we're speaking with does, and then we can make better recommendations.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. So in a nutshell, it just depends on each individual's type of business, their market, and then we try and match them to the right product. So yeah. It's like Tinder for pallet sales.
Exactly.
That's going to be a new segment.
Just right with the pallets.
It's not bad, actually. Okay, never mind. We'll figure that one out.
It's a consultative sales approach.
There you go.
Where we need to understand before we, go forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way. So even if somebody calls in and was like, hey, I want to buy this, instead of just taking the sale and being like, hey, I saw the pallet, I'm so happy, we stop them. And then we qualify them, we find out everything about them to make sure that it's the right fit, because a lot of times it's not going to be the right fit. Yeah. And then we have to either steer them in the right direction or unfortunately not take their money, and we'd like to take all the money.
That's really important for residual or ongoing business.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Now, question number 2 is, how much money do I need to invest? So we get that on a regular basis. People will walk into our warehouse, people will email, people will call and be like, hey, how much money do I need? And the answer is, how much money do you have to invest? Because you can buy everything from a case pack that's under $100 to truckloads that cost tens of thousands of dollars and anything in between. So my answer goes right back to the qualification.
Is there any other answer? It's not a question.
Yeah, I have some insight on that. So I get a lot of calls from other countries. I get a lot of calls from maybe far places in the United States from where we're located. And so there is the what makes sense, the landed cost factor. So if you're in Central America and you want to import a whole truckload or container worth of goods, you're going to have shipping costs and import costs, and we can help you sort of quantify those numbers, but you'll want to make sure that you have enough product within that container to ultimately make money. So yeah, this goes back to where we were earlier, of understanding the customer, understanding their business. Is there a minimum per se? No, but there is what is smart.
So if we're in LA, so if they're in Colorado or Utah or Arizona or anywhere really, even locally, minus our SoCal special, which we can touch base on at a later time, and they're like, yeah, I just want to buy one pallet, and that pallet's $250, $300, that's probably what it's going to cost you to ship. So sure, you can make money on that pallet, but for you to be profitable, you need to ship more merchandise. So your minimum order quantity just increased 2, 3, 4 pallets, and that's because your landed cost, as you touch base on, is going to be lower the more you ship at the same time.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I think you got it covered. Yes. Now there is no minimum. We have small, as you said, small cases, little jewelry, little toys, accessories, starting at what I've seen. Hair products at $57 yesterday, and then it goes up to, as you said, $10,000. So
so for locals,
we got everything for you.
Yeah, so for locals, they can come in here and spend $57 or $100 or $500 or whatever they like.
And then we watch you grow more and more and more. That's the whole goal.
Yeah, and so the average spend per order probably is going to increase over time, right?
I mean, yes, that's the whole idea of selling and reselling business, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So another question we get a lot, which it goes hand in hand with what we're discussing, is where should I sell? So somebody comes in and be like, look, my uncle, my cousin, my whoever buys merchandise, they sell, they do this, they do that. They told me to come check you guys out. What do you recommend I do? Where do you go from there?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of factor to take in, do you have storage, or is it going to be in your garage? Do you have a truck? Do you want to do pick up yourself, or we have to ship it to you? And then based on that, are you going to be doing sales locally, or are you going to do sales online? So there is many channels that you can use. I don't know, just we're not supposed to say name of online apps that sells products, but there is plethora of those. And then physically, brick and mortar, that's also an option, obviously.
Yeah, we can name sales channels. We just can't name store names that we actually supply. So Facebook, OfferUp, we can say that.
Letgo, Mercari, Poshmark. If you're familiar with those and you're looking for new sources of merchandise, come over here.
Yeah, okay, so I'll give you an example. If you approach me and ask where I should sell fashion-related products, some of the go-to sales channels for that would be Poshmark and eBay. Also, I would recommend higher-end merchandise, so better brands versus everyday brands tend to have more demand and more quick sales turnaround on those channels than everyday clothing. So high-end brands, or jackets or items that you would spend an average of more than a t-shirt. So
why is that though?
Why? It just is what appears to have demand on those platforms.
Poshmark, that's how they work. It's all designers' clothing and high price point value items, and that's where people go when they want to buy designers clothing and apparel for a better price. If you're working for more casual and everyday clothing, then you go for Mercari or Letgo, OfferUp, this kind of website. They're not limited to clothing though. You can also sell houseware products or decor or toys or anything. Poshmark is exclusively apparel though, and accessories like purses and belts.
Yeah.
accessories.
I'll give you a more specific example. And to answer your last question, why? Maybe because of lack of access or accessibility. You can get it shipped to your house. You don't have to leave your home. But plus size clothing tends to be harder to locate in retail stores. So online sales channels are great for that specific product category.
Okay, so we've got all the sales apps like the OfferUps, the Poshmarks, the Facebook that we named. And then, I mean, you've got everything from yard sales to flea markets, swap meet, retail store, becoming wholesalers, auctioneers. And then even if you're selling online, are you selling wholesale? Are you selling by the piece? Are you selling with a bidding structure like eBay? So I think this goes right back to the first question, and it's qualifying the customer and finding out
What will work for them?
what's going to work for them and what they have in mind. Because if somebody comes in and is like, hey, I want to open a retail store, I've got $1,000.
Let's talk about retail.
Unfortunately, that's not going to work.
Let's talk about retail because a lot of our customers that approach us for the first time, they are retailers. They have either a store or a series of stores. So the reason that wholesale liquidation merchandise works so well is because you're essentially buying liquidated inventory that was intended for major retailers. It was intended for pretty much the big box retailers that you commonly shop at. But you're buying all that merchandise at a wholesale price, at a wholesale liquidation price. So it's significantly below market. Let's say you're buying it from anywhere from 8% all the way up to 20% of what it originally went for. That's $100 items for anywhere from $8 to $20. And then you're putting that back up for sale in your retail shop, usually somewhere from $40, from 40% all the way up to 50, 60%, so $60. So you're buying low, and then you're able to make a profit.
You said it's pretty clear. Like it's where you buy big quantity of inventory that you can resell with a margin on top to make a living and make money. As far as the other sales channel, like you said, swap meets, yard sale are really, really great for our customers because we provide a huge variety of items. So whether you're looking for selling just toys or you're just looking for selling housewares or a mix of everything, you will find a pallet that suits your need for that. And we have constant merchandise, so you will never run out of products to sell. So if you do a swap meet, let's say once in a month, it works. If you do a swap meet like every Saturday, it works too. It's all about providing a constant flow of products for you to sell, whether you're selling online or you're selling live, because you like to talk to people like we do. So that's
Cecile,
what I want to say.
Do some of the customers that you interact with sell on multiple sales channels?
Actually, some do, but what I found out is most people start online because they're a little bit shy and they're not confident, I would say. But then quickly enough, they usually switch to local marketplaces when people come and pick up stuff from them directly. And when they get more and more comfortable, they actually many of those go finally to do swap meets and flea markets and sell big volume that shipping a package a week or something like they did at the beginning. So it's a growing curve, and we're very happy to see our customers evolve, I'd say.
What about you? Do you see a lot of your customers selling through multiple sales channels?
Yes and no. I mean, it's always advisable to sell through as many sales channels as you can, just because you want to narrow your risk and increase your spread a wider net, so to speak. So if you've got a retail store, why are you not selling online? Why are you not going to the flea market on the weekend or sending somebody for you at the flea market or doing a yard sale? Because it's just lost sales. While you're there in your store, and maybe you've got employees or it's a couple working or whatever the situation might be, you always have time to list product online.
Yeah.
And to actually ship products really doesn't take much.
Okay.
You just need your shipping labels, and then you either just bring it to the post office, to UPS, FedEx, wherever it is, or they come and pick it up from you.
Sure.
Yes.
So that's one idea where you can have multiple sales channels, or if you sell on Amazon, you can sell on eBay, you can sell on OfferUp, on Facebook, on all these different platforms.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to.
So maybe a good approach if you have a lot of inventory is to test certain channels. Okay. So you test which products sell best on channel X, Y, and Z, and then you make those decisions for your business to focus this type of inventory, this type of category of product on that sales channel.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got a customer who's fairly local, and he's got a retail store, and he buys truckloads on a consistent basis. And what he does is he wants to focus on the nicer goods and the everyday items in his store. And then the stuff that he calls, well, I can't say what he calls them, but you get the point. The stuff he doesn't think he can recover a high...
Miscellaneous.
Yeah, miscellaneous, a high return on. He will take on the weekends to the swap meet and flea markets.
Okay, so he liquidates.
He liquidates it, but
So
he
the
makes
swap
a
meet.
killing. He
Liquidate the
come-
liquidation.
Yeah, he's liquidating his own liquidation.
Nice.
So he'll put a, what do you call it, a tablecloth on the floor. He
Yeah.
literally just dumps everything from boxes,
Yeah.
leaves it all laid out, and he sells out of
Enjoy.
whatever it is by the end of that day.
Yeah, a lot of retailers, they also just write it off. So they'll donate
Yeah.
it to a charity and write it off.
There's
And
that.
That's another way to
There's
liquidate.
always a way. It's
There's
all about
always a
the
way.
pricing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, definitely.
Awesome. So we had that, and now we're going to have a twofold question, which is, what merchandise should I buy? And in turn, what merchandise do we actually have available?
Well, the first question goes back to the first
Yeah.
question you asked at the beginning, right? See, we're following.
Yep.
There you go.
You want to
Yeah.
go for it, Ben?
The second part of the question?
Is what merchandise do we have?
And what merchandise
I like
do
that
we have?
part
So
better.
we have millions of dollars worth of inventory, or if you're looking to buy pallets, thousands of pallets available for sale on the warehouse floor and in the back. This is our actually our back warehouse.
Our little playground.
So we can sell in quantities of like we said, the $57 pallet, or we can sell in quantities of multiple pallets. We can ship up to 6 pallets.
So I think I'm going to cut you off. It's in
Yeah.
terms of what product do you have, in terms of what categories do we have. So everything from general merchandise to toys, tools, bedding, housewares, cosmetics, clothing.
Yeah. No food.
Furniture.
We don't really do a lot of food. But think about consumer goods, hard goods, soft goods, anything you'd find in a major retail store.
Yeah, so it's literally going to be everything but groceries, because we want to stay away from that. We don't want to attract any unwanted friends. And then consumer electronics are just harder to find, and there is, in fairness, typically lower profit margins on it for our customers as well. And if anything like that becomes available, we tend to put it at our in-house auctions. That's twice a month, the first and third Thursday of every
True.
month.
I have that question a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they come and they're like, "Hey, so what do you sell?" The world. What do you want? So it all goes
We
back
have it
to the
all.
same original point, which is the qualification and understanding
Yeah.
what a customer needs and what's going to work for them.
Because you need to be comfortable when you're selling something and you know nothing about it. Like, don't start selling, I don't know, like designers' purses if you know nothing about the brand names. So if you're more comfortable selling tools, just go for it. If you want to buy, if you're more comfortable selling toys because whatever, it brings you like childhood memories, then we have it too. And if you want to not restrict yourself to just one category, you can also have like mixed merchandise palettes, assortment, like you will find anything from home decor to toys to bathroom, kitchen, baby products. Like, yeah, as you said, anything you'd find in a store.
Yeah. So on the question, what should I sell? I would question you back. Where do you want to sell it, or how do you want to sell it? What do you have in mind? And then according to that, we could give you possibly some, based on sort of our historical sales data, based on what we've sold in the past, what works for that type of business model. And so that's where our recommendation can add a lot of value to your business.
Goes back to qualification at all times. So we just need to find out what our customers do, how they want to sell, what their budget is in the main, and then steer them in the right direction. So if somebody comes in and they say, "Hey, I'm looking to make some extra money on the weekend. I want to sell at a yard sale and flea market. This is how much I'm willing to spend on my first time around," then we can match them to the right merchandise based on that information.
Yeah.
Somebody comes in saying, "Hey, I want to start an online business. I want to focus simply on Amazon FBA, nothing else," then we steer them in a different direction, because it's going to be a completely different product.
So that goes also to the condition of the products. Like, some people can or cannot work with different kind of conditions.
And that's a good segue to the next video next time.
No, you're talking about Amazon. Amazon,
But yeah.
you need brand new overstock products, and that's good because we have some. But if you're doing yard sale or swap meets and you're comfortable working with customer returns, then yeah, that's something we can like address with you and show you different options. But like the condition of products is something that actually like differentiate one customer from the others. Like retail stores or wholesaler, like different expectations for their customers.
do they repair? Do they not repair?
Exactly.
Do they
Are you a little
only
bit
want
handy or not? Yeah.
low ranked items based on online platforms? So,
Absolutely.
there are all sorts of questions.
Yeah, I mean, that can be a conversation for like 10 different episodes. If we turn this into some sort of webinar or some, I don't even know what they're called, vlogs we're going to go with.
So trendy, huh?
Yeah, right? We got to get with the lingo, no?
Millennial and stuff.
All right, so the way we want to end it, I mean, we'll let you guys end it however you want as well, but I've got one question for each of you. We're going to start with you, Cecile, since you're the newest. I want one success story and one, for lack of better words, failure?
Oh.
Because,
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
unfortunately, people are not all going to succeed,
Sure.
and it's our job to try and help them succeed as much as possible.
Well, success story. I have this lovely lady that's like 100 miles away from here, still in California,
So you were
though.
going to say 100 years old.
She, hey, it's never too late to make money, right? And she wanted to try a few pallets, and then she heard about one of our programs for home improvement pallets, and it was like 26 pallets for a ridiculously low price, honestly. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna try out. And she reached out to our customers because she has some sort of like a little thrift store, but like a general merchandise also. And she has a very, very, very loyal like customer base. So she reached out to them. And the truth is, by the time the truck arrived to her place, she already had sold everything just by explaining what was inside. And like the truck wasn't even unloaded. She already made more than what she invested and plus. And now she's ordering two truckloads per week, and it goes fast just like that. So yeah, that's my little success story recently. I should have started with the bad news and then finished with the good news, right? So a failure, well, I don't know that word. I'm kidding.
That's a good answer, actually.
I just had one time a customer who like bought one and two pallets, and then the third pallet he bought, unfortunately, 2 electronics items on there were missing, and they were bulky, big stuff. So they were like a major part of the pallet. And unfortunately, that's something we try to explain to our customers. Don't judge on one pallet. You have to evaluate your success as a reseller with liquidation based on more than a longer time frame.
On the long term.
Exactly. And then he was really not happy, and I haven't seen him ever since. But I hope he'll come back, because you can just stop one broken machine, stop you from being successful. To come back.
You know what? I mean, if that's what we're classifying as a failure, we need to find a new term for that, because failures are not, it doesn't fill me with hope. So we're just going to say, what, a different word for it?
Challenging situation.
Challenging situations. Okay, hold on. So challenging situations. I mean, something like that is, all hope is definitely not lost. I'm quite convinced that you're going to get that person back. So I was looking in terms of, what do we call it? Our challenging situations. Somebody that came, bought something, didn't make money for whatever reason, and now it's our job to try and figure out what they did wrong. Was it us recommending the wrong merchandise for their sales channel? Was it them not selling items for a high enough price? Because I've got a lot of customers, well, not so much anymore, but when I first started and I had a lot of new customers coming in, they would buy pallets just because of what they liked. And sometimes they wouldn't listen to the recommendation, and then they would go and sell it for a bottom price because they wanted to be the cheapest everywhere. Yeah. And then they ended up not making money because some people just lowball others.
So buying based on what you're interested in and what you like isn't always the best way to go.
It's not always the best way to go. Okay. No, but it's a good start, because if you're going to sell merchandise, you want to be happy about what you're selling at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, you want to know something about it. So to Cecile's point, if you're going to sell designer handbags online, you better know what these brands are.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, you're going to take a bag that could have retailed for $2,500, and because you don't know the brand, you Googled it quickly, you saw that it sells for $200-300, but it's a completely different model, you're losing that much potential return on investment.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Another challenging stuff that happens is sometimes people, like you said, like buy a pallet because they're excited to see one item, and then they keep it for them. But that was the whole value of the pallet right here, and then, I didn't make that much money. Yeah, because you kept the bike or whatever was on the pallet that you liked, and now it's in your living room, and the money is here. So that's another like little challenge.
Yeah. So the story that I have was a customer called in from Central America, This is his first time dealing with our company. He had previously purchased a load from a container full of product from the other side of the country, where they had not given him a detailed manifest of what was in the container. Now, it arrived to Central America and it was full of Halloween product. And that was a big mistake because his country didn't celebrate Halloween, so the goods were essentially useless. He lost money in this situation. So he approached us. We showed him truckloads full of merchandise with a manifest that gave, how much of each category of good, how much toys, how much, furniture, how much clothing is in the container. He proceeded to purchase from us. He then went on to make money with the container that we shipped to him to Central America. And at the time he was of his first purchase, when he approached us, when he made that phone call, he only had one store. I've since, in the past 4 or 5 years, watched him and helped supply his business as he's grown into a chain of stores with a distribution center. So it's been really rewarding to watch his growth and to really supply products and to learn with him and to learn to sell products and make sales to him that increase the time in between each order and that help him ultimately profit more and his retail chain profit more.
Most of our customers are repeat customers.
Yes.
Like when you start buying and you see, well, that works, obviously you need to put the work also, because whenever you do sales, you need to take pictures, put them online, make the little listing. It requires work. It's not like instant money, but I mean...
Wait,
like
it's not instant money?
No,
I'm
gosh.
done. I'm not doing this anymore.
No, but I mean, the vast majority of my customers come once and then twice and then third, and then I see them again and again. I know it's because I'm amazing, but also we have amazing products, so yeah, that helps too.
No, definitely.
No, what you said, the repeat business,
That's the idea.
that's why we're here. That's why we continue to do what we do. We're growing year on year, and we're growing year on year because our customers are growing year on year. So yeah, you've heard some good stories, you've heard some bad stories, but ultimately...
What about your story?
Yeah, what about your story?
Yeah, we want to know your story.
No, call me, don't call them. Call them. I'm just kidding.
All right, any words of wisdom to leave our... I don't know what you are. Our viewers with?
Like the little... Just start. If you want to try, just start. That's the first step, that's the hardest. And then, yeah, we'll be here to help you out.
So it's a play off Just Do It from Nike. It's going to be Just Start via?
Right. That's a good one. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Benji?
Yeah, think through what you're going to do.
This is a smart
where
one.
you're going to sell, what you're going to sell, how you're going to sell it, and then consult us because we're full of ideas and we have all this experience that we'd be happy to share with you. That will help you do
You know what I really like about our last words of wisdom is one said, just start, just go for it. And the other one says, hey, hold up, think about it, do your research, ask us questions. So it really depends who you speak to.
Listen to these guys.
There's money in this industry.
Yeah.
We've seen it work over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You can make money. It works. So you can scale your business and you can scale it fast. There's a market for secondary goods in the secondary channels. Yeah.
Awesome.
True.
So perfect. Thanks for tuning in to our first episode, webisode, vlog, or whatever it is of what do we call it? Of Pallet Talk. Let us know if you have any questions or if there's any information you want, because hopefully we're gonna do more and more of these, depending on how many of you watch. So like it, share it, subscribe to us, do whatever it is you're supposed to be doing online.